onto Sterling. Sterling gets a pass to Lewis. Lewis is on the surge, and he's over! Right underneath the black dot. That's the place to score him. Big Wally. He's got the look of a forward about him when you see him come through like that.
There were some criticisms of your training and your professionalism, but then you put all that aside and you learned from it, and you emerged as the leader that everyone saw in you when you first represented the Kangaroos. Did you feel like you just needed to mature a little bit into that role?
I probably wasn't the greatest trainer in the world. A lot of my training, I used to think it was all about skills and drills, and that was the best way to prepare for a game where, you know, understandably, a lot of the coaches used to say, no, it's fitness. You've got to get to an enormous level of fitness. So I'd take that on board and just try and come up with it. But I tended to raise the level of perfection and be able to produce some skills that were rarely seen in rugby league. The spiral pass, I was the first one to throw to ever throw a spiral pass.
That changed the game radically, a spiral pass. I can't believe we weren't doing it beforehand. For you to bring that across from rugby, because prior to that in league, the ball would sit flat and fat and slow, and then you bring in the spiral pass, it opens up so many more attacking options. And then, lo and behold, they start doing it in the Sydney competition.
1982, we were on the Kangaroo Tour, and I came on and in a test match, ended up throwing I could see that there was a gap out wide, and I threw it, and I could see Mal was out there, and he'd seen me throw him quite a bit. And anyway, the ball went to Mal, and he ended up scoring in the corner, and that was kind of the real introduction of everyone using the long pass.
Oh, good long ball, and he's in. Mal Meninga, that long ball from Wally Lewis out to Mal Meninga, showing Great Britain what they should be doing.
So you win the Golden Boot, you're officially the best rugby league player in the world, but the critics in Sydney are still saying he hasn't come down, he hasn't tested himself in our competition, he hasn't really proven himself at our level. But enter Kerry Packer and his golden ticket to Manly.
We were often a little bit concerned about the money that we weren't getting, and I was very close to Gene Miles about that, and we both said that we've got to head to Sydney. Clubs used to have to apply for permission to negotiate with a player, hand it to the Queensland Rugby League, be granted that, and then it'd go ahead. Gino said, I've got an offer from Sydney. I said, so have I. And they said, oh we've got to get talking to them. We were told that we had to be at the old Brisbane airport. Plane pulled in, Mr. Lewis, Mr. Miles, yes, take you to Sydney. Flew us down there to Sydney, and we said, who are we going to be talking to? I said, sorry, I've got no idea. We got out at the other end, and Gene said, you know, well, how much are we going to ask for? I said, 70, 75 grand? Yeah, okay, yeah, that'll be right. Okay, yep. Away we went to go into the meeting. We walk in, here's Kerry Packer in the building with, oh, shit. He says that he went first. I seem to remember I went first, and we both said we'll both ask for the same money. Went in, and Packer sort of looked at me and he said, OK, how much do you want? And I said, you've got to make me an offer. He said, son, I don't got to do anything. You've got to ask for the money. It'll be a simple yes or a no. OK, all right, OK, right. He said, so how much do you want? I said, you're going to have to pay me $150,000 a season. And he looked at me and he said, how much? And I said, oh, no, I've put my foot in it. I've gone straight to it. $150,000 a season. And he said, you're a Queenslander. And I said, that's right, yeah. And I said, and I'll come down for 3 years, not 2. And he looked at me and he went, you're easy, get out the next bloke in. Oh, I've just double-crossed my Gino, my best mate. We both said we'll sit for, you know, about 70, 75 grand. We'll both sign for that. Shake hands, you won't get more than me. No, it won't be any double crossing. And Gene come out and I thought, oh no, God, he's gone for what, 70 grand? No, I'm in strife here, you know, just double cross my best mate. And Packer said, well, you got yourself 2 new players, Bob. Lewis is on 150,000. I put my head down. I thought, oh no, here I am getting embarrassed in front of my best mate. He'll be saying, you know, I thought we were only and Gino's on 120,000 a season. I've turned straight round to look at him, thinking, I'm worrying about double crossing my mate you've just done. He said, actually, you can have another 10, 15, put you on the next one. Gene's head was just going like that. we flew home, we thought, you beauty, we've got money, you know, hallelujah. But then we had to come back into the Queensland Rugby League, of which we did the next day, and we were a bit disappointed with that. We felt that we got let down a little bit.
Did they put the screws on you?
Yeah. The contract was basically split in half. From Manly, the Manly Football Club were paying half, and Kerry Packer, to work for PBL Marketing Limited, was paying half. So it was a $75,000 they had to match. They said, we'll do that. Half from the club, half from Wynnum. I said, but that's only half the money that we're getting. Cut a long story short, we went in the next day, and they said, we've decided to match that contract down south. You're going to stay here. And we were a bit confused by it. And it also had that we were getting $37,500 from the footy club, which we didn't get. So we had to stay in Queensland for that
for
next year. We were not all that happy. You know, we'd loved our time at Wynnum. That was fantastic, but we just didn't get the money. And the only thing that came along to save us was instant talk of the Brisbane Broncos.